Hello, everybody. If you are catching this as a video, that means the live is already completed as a premiere, okay? This is a live premiere right now, but it will transfer over to a video. So come in and watch me make a crab claw boil. First of all, if you're on the replay, go ahead and hype this video up because it should already be processed. If you are just coming in, make sure you hype the video up after it has premiered. First, we're going to be starting off with the Cajun seasoning here. A garlic and onion seasoning. Let me know in the comments, do you guys ever buy the seasonings from Ross or Home Goods, those type of stores? That's where these our last two seasonings actually came from. And I like them. I like them. I'll probably continue to buy them. And I also have the lemon pepper of that brand. If you're new to this channel, this is the way I like to season my food. I actually take all the seasonings that I'm going to use, put them in a small sauce bowl, and then I blend them well and then season it as like one blend. Okay, so next, guy, I'm so happy about this. The next seasoning I'm going to use is a lemon thyme. You want to know where that came from? My garden. My garden. I actually dehydrated it, put it in a seasoning jar, and now I have lemon thyme probably for the rest of the year. Yes, okay, here we have a Spanish smoked paprika. So we know that paprika a lot of times does not carry a lot of flavor, but this one is kind of like a smoky, um, has a smoky taste to it. And so I'm going to use that. Now here is the Scotch bonnet pepper powder. Now I'm scared to use this. It's supposed to be so hot. This is my first time using it, so I'm giving it like that much. That's it. Just a little dab, just so that I don't over pepper it and can't turn back from it, right? Okay, and I'm going to put a little bit of brown sugar, about a teaspoon. This is a tablespoon that I'm using. I kind of filled that up halfway, so that would be a teaspoon. So like I say, I really, really do like to blend all of my seasonings up together to make a complete blend. I need to create a seasoning. I need to think about creating a seasoning because I do this all the time and it ends up being a blend. 2026 seasoning company, here I come. I don't know, maybe. But yes, I like to make sure it's well blended so that it's evenly seasoned. Whatever it is, I don't care if it's like fish or like whatever it is that I'm cooking, I want to make sure that it's evenly seasoned. So take this time right now, like and subscribe if you have not already, okay? For all the people who are already subscribed to the channel, thank you for coming to watch this premiere with me. And if you're on that replay, I appreciate you so much. If you're new, thanks for coming in. I hope you find something that you like about the channel. This is the portion of my channel where I do some premieres and showing you guys like what I'm cooking, what the recipe is, how I went about preparing it, all those things. So here you see I cut up some corn here, y'all. Let me tell you, get the bag of corn that's already cut up. I struggled with cutting that cord, okay? I had to twist and turn it, and oh my gosh, it was a mess. So here I have my small baby potatoes. I just take some of the root off, like some of the pieces that might have a little bit of the root. I kind of cut that off, but I don't peel it as a whole. So I do that, and then I just take my knife and I slit some holes in it, and that's just so that the seasoned water can kind of like get through there and put some flavor to my potatoes. Okay, so I do that and then I add them to the water. So first that's going to go in this water is my potatoes because my potatoes kind of take the longest to cook so that they can be tender. So I put those in there first so that I can give them a boil about 5 minutes before I add the other ingredients that need to be boiled, okay? So I do want to season this water and I'm going to use a Kinder brand buttery garlic and herb. Let me know down in the comments. Do you have a specific brand of seasonings that you stick with? I kind of mix it up, whatever I like from each of the companies I usually purchase. But let me know if you stick with a certain brand or not. I know a lot of people who like to stick to a McCormick, stick to a Kinder, things like that. So here we go. 5 minutes later, I'm going to be adding my corn. Now, this is fresh corn that I got from the produce section, so it does need to be cooked thoroughly. So I'm going to go ahead and cook this for about 10 minutes before I add the crab claws to it. Hopefully that seasoning will get into the crevices of the corn, y'all. I love corn, especially fresh corn. So I'm going to let that boil for like 15 minutes, okay? Then we're going to eventually add those crab claws, y'all. Yes, I love me a good crab claw. I first found out about them when I was in Atlanta. So, yes, so here's the little small pack of crab claws. They are so pricey, y'all. Like this little pack, how many is in there? Two, four, six, seven, maybe eight. $28 and something, y'all. Like, it's ridiculous. So I'm thinking this is like a once a year, twice a year type thing because it's just way too pricey. The price of seafood is getting way out of hand. So I'm gonna put these inside of the water after the 15 minutes of the potatoes and the corn cooking. I'm going to take those crab claws, put them in the water, and we only need about 10 minutes. We all know that seafood only takes a couple minutes to actually cook. So I wanted to use some fresh parsley in this. I did have some seasoning up in the cabinet with some parsley, but I was like, no, let me grab some fresh parsley. So I grabbed the fresh parsley and just taking a knife and giving it a rough chop so that I can add it inside of the sauce and on top for a garnish. So yes, we're gonna just take that, chop. And next comes the lemon, y'all. Y'all know that lemon is so good on seafood. So I'm just going to squeeze that into the pot with the potatoes, corn, and crab claws. And then I'll just chop that into a couple of pieces and throw that into the water with it to help give that lemony flavor, y'all. Okay, so next we're going to go ahead and start the sauce. A lot of the times, y'all, the sauce is like the best part. So I'm going to start with a butter. I use Land O'Lakes. They always say you have to use a good butter. Land O'Lakes is a good butter. So I'm going to start with that butter, but to cut the butter, I'm going to use olive oil. So it won't be so much butter. So I'm going to use some olive oil. Remember, I don't do measurements. I don't do measurements. Y'all know what they say about letting those ancestors tell us when to stop. Okay, and I'm also gonna use that infused chili pepper olive oil that I have. So I'm gonna use that. You see a couple of those chunks of chili peppers gonna pop off in there. And so I'm just gonna let this simmer a little bit with the garlic. I'm going to first put a minced garlic in there. That's also infused with the chili pepper. So I'm going to put that minced garlic up in there and let that cook. But I also cannot do this without a fresh garlic. I told y'all before, I like minced garlic, but I like fresh garlic too. So I'm going to take about, I think it was maybe like 10 cloves of fresh garlic and add that into the pot. I have a newfound garlic freedom where I purchase the garlic that's already peeled, and then all I got to do is plop it in the garlic press it, and that's it. Okay, even though I do have some fresh garlic in the refrigerator, but still, when I can find or think about that already peeled garlic, I'm going to always try that. So yes, and just like I said, use that garlic press and get it all pressed out. Here is a fire roasted garlic and a habanero hot sauce that I have. So it's pretty hot. So I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of that on there for the spice because I do like a spicy crab boil. Here are those seasonings that we mixed up earlier in the video, and I'm going to season this butter heavily, okay? I don't, if you notice, I didn't use any salt, and a lot of the seasonings I use are without salt. Some of them, like the Cajun seasoning, things like that, they have the salt in there. I think the lemon pepper even has a little salt in there. So there, I'm going to let this simmer for a while, not on a high heat, but a very low heat. You see the little bubbles in there? So now that that simmer has started, I'm going to turn that down to a low heat and let that simmer for a couple of minutes. Not too long because we already put our fresh garlic in there. And the rule is that we don't want to overcook our fresh garlic. So I have my lemon here. I'm going to squeeze a little bit of fresh lemon in this sauce and add those peels with the zest on it right into the sauce. Y'all, this sauce is smelling so good. So let me know. Drop in the chat. Do you have special ingredients that you use for your seafood boils? If you do, put it in the chat. Put us on. Put us on. Okay, so here I noticed that I didn't have as much butter as I wanted. So I added it, and voila, that sauce was finished. There is all the food, the corn, the potatoes, the crab claws, and I'm just going to take some of that sauce and pour it over it. Now, y'all, I did put this inside of the saucepan first. But y'all know, if I'm moving too fast, I lose some of this footage sometimes, y'all. But here it is, looking good.